All right, I guess we're live. Well, I guess not really live, but like I'm recording at least. Welcome everyone. My name is JD, and I have started a website called Breakfast Brief. I guess also a business called Breakfast Brief. Um, and I guess I'm setting up this kind of weekly, or I don't know, semi-weekly uh, short podcast to kind of document my journey, kind of like a live vlogging journal of my journey to get this thing to work, what things learned on the way, what the process has been so far, stuff like that. But I guess I can show you a quick look at what the website is real quick before I hop into some of the other information I wanted to get into. But this is Breakfast Brief, not the prettiest looking website in the world. I know that, all right? I know that. I am not a web designer. I can't do everything. Well, I can't do a whole lot of anything, but like web design is definitely not one of those things I can do. But I'm logged in on my account right now. As you can see, we have the landing page here, your upper hand in business and innovation. Thought that sounded pretty good. And then a big call to action button here that turns gold when you go over it, and a couple other like pieces of information down below. But you can go in here, and if you are signed up for the service, like I am, again, not a web designer. I understand the footer's halfway up the fucking page, but I'm working on it, okay? Setting topics, though, like you can set specific topics that you want news on a daily basis. So how this works is that it's going to look for headlines and news articles that contain these topics, and it is going to use generative AI to consolidate that into a short summary and send that to your inbox every morning. So that way you're always up to date on the things that matter most to you, whether that be in your professional life, hobby life, whatever that be. Right now, I just have a couple of random things put up there. I built this website on a lot of Azure products. So have Microsoft Azure there. I work in a consulting firm, technology consulting. And obviously, there's generative AI involved with this process. So that's included there as well. And what this does is it goes ahead and sends you a daily email to your inbox every Monday through Friday. So always staying up to date. I read it every day. I made it. Obviously, I'm a little biased, but I think it's pretty good. And I'm just looking to gain some users, which is part of the reason why I'm doing this whole thing. But I guess into the other topics that I wanted to cover, kind of what has the process been so far? So I'm going to pull up Microsoft Paint here because we are fancy like that. I don't feel like doing any video editing because I got other shit I got to do. But process started about, I'd say, mid-December, and that's where I got the idea that I was going to do Breakfast Brief. Like, okay, I'm going to have this AI summarization to give out in newsletters to people because I've been a fan of the Morning Brew, which in the daily Upside, which are both kind of daily newsletters as well. However, I wanted content more catered to something that I actually needed information on in my daily life. So that's where the idea kind of stemmed from. And from December until about, I want to say like mid-February, excuse my handwriting with a mouse, this was all dev time. So this was all me developing the website. Almost all of it is custom code outside of the like Azure services that I use for like sending emails. I use SendGrid to actually send the emails because I tried to use Azure Communication Services, but it is a pain in the ass to use. But all of this dev time, built it out using a Django framework. I'm not a web designer. I probably need to learn React. I refuse to. That gets us to about mid-February, which is where I kind of soft launched the product, got it out there, started working on stuff like SEO. So for the next week or so, this is all focused on SEO, so search engine optimization, getting keywords into the website, getting it hooked up with stuff like Google Analytics, Google Ads. I think Uber Suggest is a website that gives you like keyword rankings for your website. I don't rank for anything right now, so we're looking to change that. So that was all focused on SEO. That was step one in kind of the marketing plan for getting this thing working. And then about the start of March, this is where I started running ads on Breakfast Brief. So utilizing Google advertisements, paid for Google search ads, started running those from March until, until now, until today, which is about midway through March. And yeah, that journey has been interesting. I've never run Google Ads before, so it's been kind of, looking up YouTube videos, figuring things out, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work, fine tuning things. Since I haven't gotten a conversion yet, I'm still not sure if my call to action like click tag is working properly. It says it's inactive, but I think that's because no one's actually clicked on it yet. So I don't know. Still figuring things out there. But about a couple days ago, I realized, like, you know what? I have about 100 people who have visited my website. I have about 3,000 impressions. So click through rate of like, I think a little over 3%, which is, I mean, it's like below average, but for what I have out there right now, I'm kind of fine with a low click through average or click through rate. But I didn't get anyone to actually sign up for my service, which is $5 a month. So what I did here was I built in a free tier to my website, and hopefully that will help get people in the door, signed up, and at least get some feedback on my service. This is probably something I should have focused on to begin with. However, I just wanted to get it out there, so I didn't want to mess around with adding more things. I thought it was going to be a lot more difficult than it actually was. Another thing that I was struggling with is there were a couple people who visited my sign up page and then immediately left after the sign up page. Now that partially might be because my website's ugly and the sign up page is also ugly, but also partially might be because people don't want to put their information into a website they don't trust. And what I think could help, bridge that gap there would be utilizing Google authentication for a login. So you can either put all your information in manually, or you can do like the login through Google, which I would think would probably ease some of that friction with getting people to sign up. And hopefully I can then funnel that into the free tier. I started that, I think, 24 hours ago. So I'm hoping that we get a couple signups before the end of the week. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, that's kind of the process of how I got to where I am right now, what services I'm using and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not a professional developer as well. I am, on like the more of the business side of things in my day job. So it's kind of a learning process. And the reason why I didn't want to use a service like Bubble, which is way easier to build websites than making everything custom code yourself, is I thought, worst case scenario, if this doesn't work out, I don't make any money. I just lose money on like signing up for a DBA and a business license and stuff like that. Worst case scenario, I at least learn quite a lot about development, and I've learned quite a lot about development, and how these all these intricate parts of cloud services and your code and other third-party SaaS services kind of fit together into one like cohesive product, or in my case like semi-cohesive product. But yeah, if you haven't checked out my website yet, breakfast-brief.com, I would very much appreciate if you check it out. And I don't really expect this to get any views, but I don't know. Thanks for watching, I guess.